Okay, I feel like, let's put this down. There we go. I feel like I have been in the dark for the last week. I feel like my head's been down. So I feel a little bit out of touch. I'm maybe asking everyone watching what's going on. I legitimately feel like I'm in the dark. What's going on, everybody? How's life? What does the news cycle look like? I know what the news cycle looks like. That was a stupid question. That's everywhere. But what are some new updates? What's going on? Sup? Hannix, what's up? All right. Sad I missed you, brother. Seth, me too. I'm sorry. Life is here. Well, just so I don't make excuses because that was on me. Very quickly, so about 4 months ago, I went through like a full kind of reorg of my time. Kind of really got good at like prioritizing time. And I had 4 months where I felt like we were just crushing. And now all of a sudden I feel like I'm like barely keeping my head above water again. So I just went through the same exercise today. It was like a full redo of my schedule, where my time is going, things that I'm saying yes to, things that I'm saying no to. So what I'm hoping, stuff like that I won't be missing out on as much, but that is my bad. Yo, Mikey, how's it going, man? Much love from Minnesota. Dylan Tran, I appreciate you, my G. I hope all is well out there. Is it starting to get cold? What was your favorite skate trick when you were pro? My favorite skate trick when I was pro. I loved back tails. That was a trick when I was a kid where like I felt like once I learned back tails, I was like actually kind of good. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. Like I felt like that was a barrier. Like if you could back tail, you were pretty sick. So I was stoked on that one. That trick forever stayed. Always liked nollie flips and switch flips. Hard flips became my obsession towards the tail end. Actually, I'm going to tell everybody a story. Nothing but love always. Seth, I know that. I know that about you. That's why we all love you so much, because you're seriously the man. I'm going to tell you a story about skateboarding, and this is going to take you into my personality as well. Okay, so growing up, I had a friend. His name was Justin Case, and he had like the best hard flip. He was doing Herman style hard flips before Herman was Herman. And I was always jealous. Like I just never could hard flip. And then I became friends with Malto, and he was like the king of hard flips. And then, the new generation that came up, a hard flip was every other trick, where when I was a kid, no one did them, maybe just Carol. And so this was probably, I don't know. This is maybe 2011, 2012. My career ended in 16, so let's call it 4 years away from my career ending. I had already been pro 10 years. I couldn't hard flip. And I kind of just went, you know what, I'm going to learn this trick, and I'm going to have a trick. I'm going to have a hard flip in one of my parts. Before I'm done being a pro skateboarder, I'll have a hard flip in one of my parts. And so I decided I'm going to start learning it. And that was by far the hardest trick I have ever had to learn. I tried, when I first started, I just wanted to land one hard flip a day. And I would probably try 100 of them. As a pro, barely make one. And then I got to a point where like 10 tries, I would do one hard flip. 3 years later, seriously, 3 years later, I could actually hard flip. Like on flat ground, like if you told me to hard flip, I could hard flip. Finally started learning it down things. I go to China and we're at this spot. There's like a big 3, and then in the back, there's like a long double set. And I'm with Chris Ray and Blablick. Chris Ray's like, dude, let's do it down the big 3. And it wasn't too big. Maybe it was like a 9 stair. Hard flip it. And I feel so sick, but it was not good enough to put in a part. I'm like, dude, let's do the double set. So I start trying to hard flip the double set. I do it a little bit sketchy, but good enough where I would have ran with it. And Chris Ray is like, my camera didn't get it. My camera glitched. And I'm like, no, we're flying out the next day. I try for like 30 more tries. I end up doing it as good as I could possibly do it. Makes it in my DC part. It ends up being the last part before I retire, get the hard flip. But if there's ever a real life example of the process that I have to go through, that was it. Spend forever to just do one. then take another 2 years to like get it to where I have it pretty good, and then take it to a video part. I still have to, I mean, that was always my thing. I was never like the best. I just was good at being obsessed. Been following you since the 411 days. So amazing to see how far you've come. OHK Brando, I appreciate you. I actually, it was pretty sick. Somebody came in to do an interview with me. He's got a pretty big like YouTube channel, and he was a skater. And so he scheduled it. He was like, hey, I want to do it at your office. You know, we're going to come in. It'll probably take us an hour and a half to set up. Then we're going to do an interview with you, et cetera. I'm like, all right, cool. So he comes in and, you know, he starts setting up. I get up, we meet, and he looks at me and goes, dude, I had no clue, like, this is what you had done. Like, I thought I was going to come to like a little office with like a couple people. Like, I had no idea. And then he goes, I was following you since City Stars. I followed you when you were doing this. Like, this is crazy. And it was just like, that's not, I hope that's not coming off as me bragging. That's not what it's meant to be. It was just cool. Like, I'm sitting there with him going like, dang, like, yeah, like I was, you know, just skating. And then like, just everything that's happened is, it's been wild. It's been, I never thought this would happen. Like, this was not part of my plan. Like, when I was 18 years old, my plan was skateboard. That was all. What's the one thing, project you're most excited about right now? Sean, how are you, my man? It's been a long time. I know we talk on Insta. The projects that I'm the most excited about, as insane as it sounds, because it's also the projects that I hear the most backlash from, are the projects in California. It's, you know, when we started this company, we weren't hyper-focused on California. We were, you know, by and large, all of our storage was outside of the state. We had one apartment here, but we had a huge project in Ohio. Like, our original kind of view was we were going to go after big malls that were going vacant, and we were going to turn them into like kind of mixed use communities, because I thought that was the opportunity I was seeing. And then just everything that went on with the state and, you know, added regulation and hard to do business here, and ultimately the housing crisis that was created, we pivoted everything. We closed our last fund on multifamily, created this new one, and put all of our attention towards California. I really do believe that there's an opportunity here that's going to be here for a long time. But the other thing I like is, I can't remember who told me this, but I try to find opportunity in areas that it feels like everyone's running away from, right? Like, I don't ever want to be going in the same direction as everyone else. I don't think there's any opportunity when you do that. It feels good, it's comfortable, but if you're where everyone else is, the opportunity's done. It's saturated. And so seeing what's happened in our state, like, I can't tell you how many investors have left here because it's difficult to do business. 2020, 2021, so many investors went, I'm done with it. I'm going to exchange my real estate into a different state. And I don't know, that was one of those moments I went, oh my gosh, like, everyone's leaving. This is where I want to be. And so I'm excited about that. I think there's something big here. It doesn't mean it's easy. It's hard to do business here, but in my belief, the harder something is to get through, the bigger reward you see. So I'm excited about those ones. You still skate? Not a lot, but you know what I'm going to start doing? We're going to do, since I've started this company, I've been wanting to do meetups. Like, I really want to start doing, I don't know if it's going to be real estate focused. Maybe it will be more broad business, but I want to start doing monthly meetups. And I was talking to Paul the other day, and I was like, hey, dude, can I start doing meetups at your park? Like, he has this big, like, secret back lounge setup. It's epic. And I was like, can I do that like once a month? Like, invite like 10, 15 people, do like a meetup once a month? And he was like, yeah, for sure. So what I'm hoping is, because I'm going to be doing those and it'll be at the park, maybe I'll end up skating more. Every time I'm at his park, I end up skating. So I'm not skating a lot right now. Maybe that's my window back in. Considering the planning commission, I can see why. Moms of Conejo Valley. Oh yeah, yep. That's right. All right. Established 7311. I appreciate you, my man. Yeah, everyone I know has left California. Probably a good sign. Yeah, you know what? Like, that's a big one. Like, you know, you talk about certain things that move politicians. That is a very scary metric for politicians. Like, to see people leaving over and over, they don't want that. And so, I don't know. Does that mean the state's going to pivot and all of a sudden do business a different way? I don't think so. But will that mean they'll have to start changing some of their stuff? I mean, we are seeing that now, for better or for worse. Like, you know, the state is attempting to make it easier to build real estate. That doesn't mean it's easy. It still takes us 3 years to get something through, where it might take Texas 6 months, 7 months. So it's still not comparable, but hopefully we will see that change in a good way. We'll see you in December to give our opinion again. That's right. We're coming up soon. That's going to be Moms of Conejo Valley, what she's referring to for everyone who's not in our area. We've been working on an updated general plan. For a general plan for the city is kind of like the business plan for the city. It's what in our case, the next 25 years are going to look like. And so, gosh, the city has been working on this way before I got elected, but in 2 weeks, we are voting as a council on the general plan, on if it's going to be approved, and that will be the plan and the growth of the city over the next 2+ decades. And so that's what she's referring to. So they're going to come speak. That has been cool, actually. Like, you know, some of there's things that I've learned that I'm like really thankful for being on city council that like I just didn't expect to learn. And that has been a really cool one. Like, you know, we've been on the other side. Like, you know, we have investors and developers come and speak to us on a city council. Like, we're usually on that side. And so it's been really cool to be on the city side and you know, listen to, you know, how the staff goes about working with them and, you know, concerns. And that's been so beneficial for me to have that type of experience and understanding on that side. I'm thankful for that. And I didn't consider that going into this. I'm stoked on that. Thanks for skating, man. Dominic, I appreciate you. Yo, Mikey's live. Let's go. The good old days skating Borchard and eating Manny's burrito. That was the best. That was the best. That was the good old days. That's before skateboarding was cool. That was when it was just the few of us. All right, let me see what's going on YouTube. YouTube and Twitter. Let's see what's cracking over there. Make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. Honestly, I think about it, and to be a part of it will be really interesting to watch it grow and evolve 100%. So this is the cool thing about growing up in a small city is you know everybody. And our assistant manager, his older brother was one of my close friends growing up. He was part of my original skate crew. And so his little brother, Akbar, I actually knew since he was like, I don't know, 10 years old, something like that. And now we're working together on the city and we're talking about, we're looking at like building kind of a destination for Thousand Oaks. And we're kind of going over these concepts of what the city can look like in 20 years, et cetera. And him and I just kind of like had a moment where we're like, dude, can you believe this? Like when we were kids, would you have ever thought that we would be, involved in something like this? It was actually like emotional. It was pretty sick. What else is going on? What's been going on with life? Any big news happening for anybody? Any wins? Any struggles that we could help with? What's going on? Let's put some stuff on the board. How's everybody been doing? Hey, big fan since my skate days. What would you say is the best to make $10K starting out with $0 as a freelance or small business. Okay, you know what I'm seeing a bunch of, and I'm getting 6 to 10 DMs a day about it. So there's a lot of people driving at this opportunity. When it comes to social media, we still have a lot of businesses that have not made the transition into digital marketing or digital communications, and they don't know how to do it. And then on top of that, you have businesses who are trying to make that transition, and they're posting videos, but they don't really know what they're doing. They're just talking and posting. I think there's a massive opportunity there, actually. Like, you know, if you see a business that isn't creating good content, educate yourself on how to do it. Learn how people are creating content that's engaging. There's a lot of AI tools right now that will help you kind of cut content up short. It will add imagery to it. I mean, you almost are just the middleman in this example, but I think there's a window where you can sell a service to businesses who are struggling to create engaging content and help them do that for them. The ones that create no content, I think there's a big opportunity there. So there may be an educational component to it that you'll have to learn, but that is a good way to go sell a service. Go get 4 clients, 5 clients. You can easily charge them 25, $3,000 a month. You'll get to 10K just that way. And it's totally doable. You know what? There's another thing, actually. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but is anybody here now that followed me 5 years ago? Myself and Eric Bork were doing a podcast together, OVNI. Does anybody remember that? If you remember that, give me a yes or a thumbs up emoji, because this could be a opportunity, actually. And this is not live yet, so you guys are going to get kind of a early. You guys are going to hear about it before anyone else, and just know that it's not totally open yet. Yes. Okay, so a lot of people didn't know this, but when we were doing the podcast, we had already started a marketing agency together, and Eric. Shoot, my wife's calling. Let me see what's going on with Jen. Hey, I'm on a live, but I just want to see if you need anything.
I just was wondering if you are able to pick them up at 5:30.
From Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick them up.
Okay. Anything you feel like for dinner? I'm gonna go to Trader Joe's.
Nope. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, so Eric and I started a marketing agency together. Eric was the one running the business. I helped kind of, with the idea, the concept, the capital, and then he ran with it. Eric is crushing it. In the last 5 years, he's built a pretty sick business. And something he's going to roll out ultimately is the ability for people to kind of sell a service without having to do the servicing. And you'll get a percentage of every basically account you close. I think that's actually going to be a real cool opportunity for people to make money in the digital world without having to be, the one on the back end doing it, kind of like front end, which is more comp based. That could be cool. So as we get closer to that, I'll let you guys know. Eric's kind of working out all the details to that now. I'll keep everybody informed, but I think there's going to be an opportunity with stuff like that that's only going to increase. I'm really bullish on what's happening in social and communications. I can't tell you how many people and businesses I know that do zero social media. Like, it's not even a thing. So I think that's only going to increase. I think more and more businesses are going to be forced to do this, which means that there's a growing opportunity for people to get in and make money. Everything that's going on with AI, there's such an interesting moment because most people aren't using AI. And so you could be one person using, some of these tech products that give you the productivity of like 6 or 7 people, and you just have to be the middleman that's basically selling to other companies. There's a window where that's going to be totally at play. So I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's going to be easier. Let me be careful with how I say this. There's going to be more opportunity than ever to make money. It's not saying making money is easy, but there'll be more opportunity than ever. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. All right, let's stop that. We got Tawny joined. Uh-oh. Tawny's here. All right, let's see. I kind of skipped over if anybody had any wins. I'm running a video production company, and this coincidentally is applicable to me. Yet, look, media companies, anything involving the gig economy, I think is only going to grow. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. How's the T-shirt board skate company? Any real money in it or no? Well, if you're P-Rod and you're doing primitive, yes, there's real money in it. There's always the big companies that have money in it. But for a total industry, there's no. I mean, it's a very small industry, and it's a really hard industry to do well. There's not big margin. It takes a lot of people, a lot of work. It seems oversaturated to me. So in my belief, if you're going to do a skateboard company, you're doing it because you love it. That's it. You're not doing it because you're going to make money. Clothing brand, I think you can get away with making. I think there's more opportunity to make money, but it's saturated. It is very hard to separate yourself from everyone else when it comes to clothing. All right, shop with a cop at Thousand Oaks. I think that's tonight, and I believe it's tonight. Is that correct that it's tonight? I have an event tonight. I had a conflict, unfortunately. Nima Amili, I hate to butcher your name. Are you going? I got the invite and really wanted to go, but I had a conflict. Ouch. Thanks for the truth, brother. How's Sovereign? Yeah, you know what? It doesn't mean it's not possible, but it's hard. It is very, very hard. Sovereign, I mean, basically since we started the company, it's just survived. It's like, it's been enough to pay the riders and cover our expenses, and that's about it. I think it could have been more than that, but it just all depends on the purpose in which you do it. Like, Sovereign for us wasn't to blow up a business. It wasn't to like, oh, I'm going to take this thing, we're going to do $100 million in sales. It just wasn't the goal. I wanted it just to stay in touch with skateboarding. Like, that was it. I didn't care if it made a ton of money. I just wanted it to sustain. That's different than Commune. Like Commune, there's more of a financial goal that we're trying to hit. But this industry has the capability of getting there much easier than the skate industry does. Hey, I'm a graphic designer. Can I send you an email? Of course you can. The best person to email is Tawny, TAWNY @communecapital.com. She'll reach out to her. She'll get everything in front of you. What about a skate BMX punk show in Thousand Oaks? One thing that we're working on, it's really the city or the Park and Rec that's working on it, is to redo the Borchard Skate Park. Now it's just a finance thing, trying to raise the money for it. But That is a big one. Like a new skate park there would be huge. But yeah, I would love to do a show like that. I want to get Chad and JT and bring them out, do a Marble City concept. Daxter, how are you, my man? What's going on? That's been way too long. All right. How do your lives look like this? Okay. This is the setup. So I have basically DSLR cameras, and then I have two of them. They basically go into a platform, and then the platform multi-streams to, Instagram, X, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, etc. But the reason why I started doing this is I started doing a lot of like live podcasts, live interviews, like basically a digital approach. And then when I would do it, they'd send me the content to post, and it looked like crap. It was like, my computer lens, and it was all distorted. And so I was like, you know what? I should start doing stuff with higher quality so that I could actually post the live interviews I'm doing. And then I just kind of run with it. My office has turned into a studio, for better or for worse. That's what it is now. Keep up the great work and keep educating us, Mikey Taylor. I appreciate you. And I will. I definitely will. You looked fresh in that outfit, Mikey. So I got my newest post. It's ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, go look at my last post. So I get boxes sent here all the time. Clothing, shoes, etc. And I'm not going to lie. Most of it isn't great. But every once in a while, I'll get a sick box. And I got this box. The company's called Duvin. I started opening it. And I was like, dang, this is fresh, right? And there was one outfit in it that was a little bit different, right? I loved it, but I knew my wife was going to hate it. My wife is doing all the design for our office. So my wife pulls up as I'm going through all these outfits, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to film her reaction. So she comes in. She does not disappoint. She's so funny. So basically the ongoing joke with my wife and I is if my wife doesn't like it, that's a pretty good sign that I'm on trend. She's just like, she likes more like classical outfits. She's not here for anything Gen Z or even like bottom end millennial. She's like not here for it. So that's our dynamic. She's funny. I got some gems of quotes for her. If you just seriously watch it, it's ridiculous. I was dying during the edit. We need a retirement part on Thrasher. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. This was the hardest thing about my skate career ending. When you're a pro, you know your career is going to end at some point. You don't want to think about it because it sucks, but you know it's going to happen. And in that, you kind of have this idea of what it's going to look like to retire, right? And I always thought I was going to have this like farewell part, right? Like I would, have the conversation with my sponsors. My sponsors would say, hey, look, it's probably time to start winding this down. Let's talk about an exit. All right, let's do a video part. I don't know. I just had this idea that there'd be this like last kind of move. And what happened to me, and after talking to so many friends, skaters, surfers, snowboarders, I was with a NFL player today. It basically never goes according to your plans. Like the way in which you envisioned a career to end, it never happens that way. And so I would have loved to do a farewell part. Now, having not been a pro for 7 years, and having only skated a handful of times each year for the last 5, I couldn't even put out the part I would want to put out as a farewell part, which is unfortunate. That would have been pretty awesome. So I might have missed that window, unfortunately. We're curious what grocery shopping looks like for Mikey. Did you hear Jen talking about getting groceries? Trader Joe's is the go-to for us. We try to schedule certain meals throughout the week. We're kind of like at this stage with the kids where like my older two are pretty easy at eating now. The younger two are not. So we try to avoid like making multiple meals for different kids each night because it's exhausting. So planning it out works. And it's a lot of the same. It's like, we have a pizza oven in the back, which is epic. So we do a lot of pizza, make pizza. My daughter came home with, I can't remember what they're called. You make tacos, but they taste like In-N-Out hamburgers. It's the most psycho thing. Mac tacos, I think she calls them. So we do that. We have a night where we'll do Thai. What are some go-tos for us? I guess those are kind of the three standards. We'll see what tonight is. Oh, I had it. I would love to see the farewell part. I appreciate you. Yo, Mikey, sent you a DM. Would be cool if we can chat a bit. Have a few questions. All right, my man. Excited to have you talk with my students, man. They are pumped. Heck yeah. Heck, me too. Hello from Tennessee. God bless. Keep doing your thing. Dustin, I appreciate you. I'll let you know next time I'm out there. We have 2 properties out there. We don't own 2 properties. We lend, or we're the debt on 2 properties out there. So we're typically out there once a year. I'll let you know next time I'm out there. Tips on college students or people with minimum resources trying to get into real estate. Okay, King Mahan. If you're a college student and you want to get into real estate, you don't have to go to college for that, but I would probably focus on business courses, learn business, and then get into real estate. If you're not going to college, my belief is when you know what you want to do, go find the people that are doing the thing you want to do and go do whatever you can for them. Intern for them, be their assistant, just find a way to be close to them. And when that door opens, become a person that they can't afford to lose. And what I think the benefit of that is, 1, you become so valuable for them that you're locked in. And 2, what you're going to learn from them, you will never learn in school. It can't happen. You've got somebody who's doing what you want to do in real time, educating you as it happens. That type of experience is invaluable in my perspective. And then basically learn, move your way up. If you want to keep working for that firm, then it's just a game of getting better and taking on more responsibility. If you want to start your own thing, stay with them until you know what you're doing and then go start your own thing. But I'm a real big believer in surround yourself with people who are already doing or are already at the place you want to be. Is age 30 too late to open a Roth IRA? Absolutely not. Open this thing right now. Get off this live, John, and open this IRA. Seriously, sign off now and open it. It is not too late for you. They just increased the contribution limit, so you can invest more now every year, and next year they're increasing it as well. Get started, dog, seriously. This should be an ASAP right now. How well do you think our current president is doing with our economy? My perspective, I don't think he's doing a great job. Or maybe I should say I would be doing it a lot different, but then again, I'm not president. So I have no idea what that type of responsibility is like. So it's easier for me to kind of have opinions or criticize. But no, I don't think we're in a good spot right now. I don't think it's 2000. It's not. I don't think it's 2007, 2008. But there is this feeling of uneasiness that feels very similar to 2007, 2008. And so I don't know. There's challenges we have as a nation that, the president, the Congress, that no one is addressing. And it's interesting because the incentive's not there for them to address. It's a really fascinating scenario we're in where we have our, we have Social Security, we have Medicare, Medicaid. These are not sustainable. These things are going to be done soon. And no one is willing to even talk about it or address it as a politician because they know, one, they will not get elected if they do it, and two, they'll be removed if they do it. There's not even the desire or the will of the people for it. And so I don't know how to reconcile that one. Like, it's a little bit easier with a business, not a little bit easier. It is so much easier with a business. As a business, like the leaders or the decision makers can make the decision. They can make the decision that this is going to be painful and this is going to suck for a while, but it'll allow us to be in business for longer. The government, you can't do that. You are, in a lot of ways, I think, which is good. You're bound by the people. The people elect you, and the people can remove you. But right now, that is not something the people want. And so I don't know how to reconcile that one. But I think that's going to be a major problem for us. And I actually don't put that one in the responsibility of the president. Maybe the president can speak on it, but that one is out of his hands. His view on business and how you grow an economy is just different than mine. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? This is going to be worse than 07, 08 if the administration stays on this track. It's going to be different. I don't know yet if it's going to be better or worse. It's going to be different. But look, I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't think we're on the right track. I don't at all. Like, we have such a massive spending issue. It's insane. Like, with like no accountability. We got some issues. We totally do. Agreed with all of what you said. I hate him and happy to say it. It's all a game. They send our money overseas and devalue our dollar by the second and then squeeze every penny they can in U.S. taxes. Yeah, you know what? The one thing that I would have done differently, and I really think it's important to say this. I'm not the president. So there is a weight that's put on that person that I do not know. But when we were going through, when the Russia-Ukraine conflict started, we weaponized the dollar. I understand why what the philosophy behind them doing that was. I would have never done that. To me, that is very scary. You will start seeing, and what we ended up seeing is other countries go, the U.S. is a risk to do business with. That's scary. That is really scary. So I would have addressed that one differently. I don't know, in a lot of ways, like, the market is no longer a free market. Like, in my perspective, and I know there's different views on this, but I think the government has become too big. I don't think it was ever intended to be this large. I don't think that's good for the economy. For me personally, I don't think that's good for us. Now, I understand there's an argument to be made there, but that's my personal opinion. And in that, it's like, dude, we spend a lot of money and we don't let the market solve problems. I think the market is good at that. Like, when you have businesses that have to compete with the business next to them, what that ends up resulting is the best experience at the cheapest price for us, the consumer. But like, when the government is so involved in everything, and then you have these massive corporations that I don't think we're using the monopoly law the way it, like, I think companies have just become too big and should be broken up, a lot of them. I think regulation is insane right now. I'm not saying deregulate everything. I think there's a lot of risk by not having regulations, but there are way too many regulations. It's like, I don't know. I don't think it's good, but what do you guys think? Let's see what you guys think. They're doing a great job taxing us. We just need to stay afloat. Dominic, I can't tell if you're joking or not. Oh my God, for a minute there, I thought this was my brother, same name. That's amazing. There's a lot of Mike Taylors. That's such a common name. Definitely about to set up my Roth IRA. Anything else I should be doing to invest in my future at 30 years old? Okay. The first things I would look at is actually yourself. Like, what can you invest in that will give yourself a new skill or add on a skill you currently have to make more money? Like, look at how you can increase your income. That'll be the greatest return you see, is investing in yourself. So start there. I think a Roth IRA is great. If you have a 401k that your company matches, that could be a great scenario. That's 100% guaranteed return if you contribute up until their max. Your contribution, you get to deduct from your taxable income and basically, extend the taxes out. That could be great. Other than that, most people invest in the market, try to buy a home, and then I would say few or maybe the minority go to buy or invest in investment properties or real estate on that front. But don't forget to start with yourself. That is one that's overlooked too often. Government even dictates how cars are designed. Yeah, I just think it's too involved in my perspective. Like, I don't know. I think government is absolutely necessary, but I don't think they do a lot of things great. I know the DMV is like the most obvious example, but can you imagine if the DMV was run by the private sector, what that experience would be like? We'd be doing driving tests in our office with like a video game style setup. Like, you would never walk into a physical location, do anything DMV related again if this was private sector. Hey, from Liverpool, Antho, what's going on? Hope all is well. You look like an Italian Justin Trudeau. You know what? I'm starting to get Justin Trudeau. I've gotten Adam Sandler a lot in the past. There's a French comedian who looks like, I don't think he's alive anymore. He looks so much like me, it's scary. But I get Adam Sandler probably the most. And then when I had long hair, I got Tim Lincecum, the pitcher for SF. Are new cars worth buying or buy a few years old? Okay, so normally in a normal world, buy a few years old. You let the car depreciate, or the majority of the depreciation goes away the first 3 years. You get an insane discount and the car's still reliable. So I like the idea of buying a few years old. We're in a very weird scenario where it made more sense financially to buy new cars because the used car market was so inflated. But you're starting to see the car market ease up. So I think that's you're going to see it go back to normal. So I like the idea of 3-year-old car. Shout out to Seco, please. Ultra fan. Appreciate you, my man. I'm not even kidding, man. I'm broke, but I'm going to fight my way to success. Dominic, I had lunch. I had lunch today, coffee with somebody. Grew up with nothing. He was telling me that he used to eat ketchup for lunch. He is now worth more than I am. You hear so many of those stories. Like, that's probably the coolest thing about what I do with just social media. I connect with so many people, even from an investment standpoint. So many. I mean, we have, what do we have? Almost 600 investors. You know, we're speaking to, I don't know, 4 or 5 a day. Like, we get to hear so many stories on how people are making money. It is so possible to make money. It's insane. There's so many opportunities to do it. So, dude, Pick your lane, become absolutely obsessed with it, solve problems. Once you're solving problems, bring people in to help you solve more problems for more people. And dude, it is just a matter of time. It really is. Hey, Mikey, I loved you back in the day skating. Still watch you now. Love all the financial advice. Love to see the growth. I appreciate you. Thank you. Crypto is the future for sure. I'm only invested a very little bit because it's insanely volatile. It's very risky. If you're comfortable taking that risk, then go for it. My personality type, though, I am very comfortable with risk when it's my company or I'm driving it. I'm less comfortable with risk when it's a passive investment. So depending on your outlook, but I do think it's the future, 100%. All right, I'm going to answer one more, and then I've got to go pick up the kids. Hey, Mikey, what's your outlook on the real estate market in the near future? Okay, so what a lot of people don't know, because the general public views real estate as one asset, and they typically look at single family as the asset. They don't separate it out by asset class. And if you look at single family is still really expensive. It hasn't corrected really. If you start looking at commercial, which functions more on financial models and less on emotion, it has corrected. You've seen, office is going to be a disaster, and it's going to be a disaster for a long time. Talking about government, you're going to see government get involved with office. So that one's going to be bad. Retail, believe it or not, is like doing pretty good, which I wouldn't have expected right now if you asked me 2 years ago. Storage, multifamily, they're doing well. They typically do well during recessions, but they've corrected. So we've had properties in markets where cap rates have increased by almost a full percentage point. So what that means is, like, if you had a project worth, let's call it $60 million, or you were building it to like a ARV of, let's call it $60 million, in today's market, it's worth like 48 million. And that's just because of the cap rate moving a full point. So you're seeing a lot of deals getting hit hard, but the fundamentals are still there. And that's what's interesting with multifamily and storage. It's like there's still not enough supply in a lot of markets to meet the demand. Occupancy is high, rent is stable. The financial market is the challenge. And so, look, we're buying storage right now. We're buying multifamily. Those are the two we drive at anyway, but we are buying right now. I think this is an opportunity, and I don't think this opportunity is going to last long personally. Like, you've seen a lot of capital exit the market on the debt side and a lot on the equity side as well. And they're waiting for the debt market by and large to work itself out. The second that does, I think they're coming right back in incredibly fast and at big numbers. And when that happens, it's going to get very competitive again, and it's going to get very hard to find deals again. That's the environment we were in for the 6 years leading up to 2020. When that happens, you're going to, I think, miss your window to take market share at a discount. How long that's going to be, my expectation, this isn't saying it's going to be this way, my expectation, I think we have a year and a half at it. It's a big reason why my head's down right now. It's why we're stepping on the gas. I don't think this window is going to last long. So that's why we're going for it. That's not the case in every asset class, though. If I was a single family investor, I would not be touching it right now. If I was an Airbnb investor, I wouldn't be touching it right now. Retail's interesting. Office, I feel bad for anyone who owns office. That one's, the impacts of that are going to be here easily for the next 10 years. That one's going to be a big one. All right, everybody, I got to sign off. Thank you for hanging with me. Have a phenomenal night. Sorry I haven't been doing this lately. I haven't done a live in like 10 days, which is brutal, If I have time tomorrow, I'll jump back on.